So I heard people don't like nuke, and that's horrible, and I'm here to rectify it by making sure you actually understand how the map works on a very, very basic level. First of all, unlike, say, when you're taking A on overpass, where on that map you have to use a lot of resources, time, manpower, fucking util to get close to site. On train, it's like, it's here, and what that means is that the dynamic of a site take is different, because you can't just like run onto the site, essentially, but or rather the space you need to take is just like here next to the site. There's like a series of hallways and corners that you're clearing before you get there, and so the act of getting to site is not like a checklist of map control like it is on, say, Inferno, but it's a process of pulling and pushing and forcing the CTs to respect the space that you have and the places you can control, and then reacting to the way that they react to you. So let's say you're doing like a default where you have one guy checked this, no one was pushing it, they prevent harassment, they went down ladder, maybe they went down start of the round, just like flashed it like this, well, not like that, flashed it like this rather, and just straight up went down and immediately had control. Then you have two people there, maybe two people Ivy, just like now. What you're essentially trying to create is a situation where these people on site do not know what their teammates are watching, exactly how close you are to peeking anything or coming out of anywhere, basically creating problems for them as you're coming out. So this ladder guy, maybe because coming out on train is fucking horrendous. Look at this, like 1, 2, 3, 900 angles that you're clearing. So maybe if you get this smoke out. Now, the side guy is like, oh shit, they smoked out ladder, I can't see a ladder. I guys like, well, shit, they can be there, but I also need to watch this. This is fucked. And that's basically the basic idea. And then these guys can kind of smoke there if they want. You can also molly pretty easily. They can molly on top of train after that smoke pops, and then if they have a green train player, you have no info again. This is kind of like, and now you start pushing and pulling. If those guys can have contact, these guys can just activate by walking and trying to get a 1-for-1 trade with this guy, or maybe these guys are actually doing something like this, where they're actually just, well, I hate doing that things. They're just like coming out, taking a few pot shots here, doing stuff like this to get the attention, and then these guys, if they have smoke down here, just start crawling, just like this kind of like give and take dynamic, where you're not instantly going, oh, we're all here, focus here, but you're like creating this sense of unease and complicating the communications. Because this site is a clusterfuck, it's a beautiful clusterfuck, and you have to embrace the fact that in a pug play where you're not gonna have like this beautiful takes, you're gonna have to just find a way to make it hard for the other team. If you do want to just like go out immediately, it's easy. You just like find just like 2-3 smokes are enough. Find maybe even 2. You just find this right side of this chimney here, and then aim here, and that's a quick smoke to essentially just block off Z. It allows them to play around this. So just you have to be aware of that, but it shouldn't be much of a problem. And then for sandwich / Disney, if I remember this right, you just come here and aim out like generally around here somewhere, like around this corner. And I think that should block off Disney. Yeah. Some people like their sandwich smokes to be here, but I think it gives too much potential to just sneak by. Other things on T side, with those two smokes, you have like space here. Other thing that what peeves me off on T side is not everyone can go all of UCL's A side take called, and then you have like 3 people taking this. And well, first of all, thank you. And second of all, no one's taking any space. One guy goes all of max 2, with the rest actually like you need to like be here, just like taking space, creating those problems. The importance of this spawn. The guy who spawns here is the only guy who will 100% of the time be able to cross this safely and spot the best CT spawn on their way to E-box / ladder. And if you spot that, you might get mollied off, but it's fine. Then you just go away, and you will at least have info that no one's immediately ladder for the ladder guy. Because then if you spot that, then the ladder guy does not need to waste time and nades getting down ladder. Basically, it gives you confirmation of this whole area that it's clear at the start of the round. The second use of that spawn that I like is basically you ask someone to flash over main, and then what you do is you create space by mollying off the green train peak, and then you're essentially in sandwich for free. If you want to go super aggressive, you just, and you'll usually find the Disney guy, because this is actually, even if it has, it's actually surprisingly hard to like realize they're actually flashing you from there. There's a few ways to like flash here. It's whatever you want. It's hard to avoid without a good lineup. It's hard to avoid like a big hang time on this flash. There's a bunch of shit you can do. Anyway, that's well, just like with these sidelines, those are what was I saying? The lineups from there, but like you can relatively safely even like just smoke this off. And now look how much more fun you're gonna have to. Let's say you do that, then you mollied that off, and like look at how much control you actually get for relatively safely here. Then once this is fading, maybe someone mollies of Disney, and just like this feels like such a hectic little train yard, but it's you can, if your team isn't instantly exploding out, you can do a lot to take space and hold space. It's hard to trade, even if I see someone on my minimap here, but I'm like here, it's hard for them to trade me, so you have to do a lot of work to stay alive. On B, I say Goons using the default smoke, and that's pretty much it, which is fine. If you're rushing it, you need to rush it, because otherwise you're stomping around here like Ghosty in 2015, and then if you don't go out, they're just gonna have like 3 people there and 2 people watching ladder, and you're fucked. There's few, if you just walk here, there's a few things you can do which are kind of nice. One is you can smoke from here, and you can, of course I did this, but I threw this smoke, which sucks. But I think there's a flash lineup here that works, but I can't remember it right now. Something like that, I think, just like maybe a bit further, yeah. And I think that gets sent. Yeah. So, or that, and then you can molly the top train here. You can molly back side from here, I'm pretty sure. Well, I know you can, I just like haven't thrown these nades in like 6 years, I don't know. But just like in general, if you dig around here for just like a second, you'll find, yeah, you'll find shit you can do. Then of course there's these like kinds of smokes. I think just as a general thought here, it would be fun to find like waterfall smokes on train, because I think there's a bunch of shit you can do. Anyway, that's like the super basics of T-side on train, and that's like the joy of playing train, is that the dynamic ones, like if you have two stacks that actually play it is not death matching, it's just such a different experience because everyone's playing their own kind of like their own game of how much am I trying to win this duel, how much am I trying to just stay alive and hold this space, and like even though small little I'm just here doing my own thing, roles can be incredibly important. Then on CT side, for the basic, super basic idea is you have A, B anchor. If they like rushing B, you can start it with 2, or maybe like have the Z guy start here, but the basic idea is you want to work the map so that you can almost always just have the one B guy, and then they should be someone like who can actually hold the site, or smart enough to fall back when they can't. And there's a few things you can do. One is just what a lot of people used to do, at least back in the day, is just like have a millimeter angle here when you spot that. Maybe you smoke this. Well, maybe you don't smoke that, maybe you smoke that instead. And then just get back, because B side is disgustingly easy to retake if you manage to hold control of like this line. So that's what you're basically doing, is holding control of the retake route here. Maybe you get a kill on the way. If you do, that's great. If you don't, that's, oh well. And then like there's a few things you can do when you're rotating in. This one is maybe you molly default. Hopefully better than that. And you can also nade, obviously, but like the basic idea is that you just want to hold like, let's say from this side of oil onwards. And of course, a bit going back to the T side is when you have a B, you are also fucked if they manage to keep control of everything. Goons tend to get like stuck here trying to play these kinds of angles, and then you just get swarmed and then you die, and then you're like, oh well, good plant. Instead of like, maybe you have someone pushing here, maybe you have a guy who was watching ladder and now they're watching doing that, or maybe you had instead of ladder you had a guy sitting here, now they're eating well because they're killing the rotates. So look, I'm spotting 2 rotate routes here. Maybe you're actually like, I don't know, like mauling off these retake routes here like this, and just like trying to create these weird uncommon angles here. Like maybe you manage to get here, maybe you're here waiting to peek out. Just like don't get super stuck or passively on site. Anyway, heading towards A site here. I don't know why, but we hate to see people not throw this like start round molly. They just, I don't know why we never, or well, sometimes we see, but not a lot of people. Like people know to molly ramp on Mirage, right? And yet, it's a bit of a feeling thing. It's just I don't have a lineup for it. It's just a feel thing. And then someone has to spot the jump, just so you know if they are going towards old hell. And then at least at the start of the round, and then you have a guy just like just making sure that they're not pushing it. I see people play a lot of angles like this, which is basically taking away from the strength of the training yard, which is you can be like in 17 different formations. The best spawn, if you have the best spawn and want to go ladder, you can, instead of mauling it, you can actually flash it as well, and that should get you into ladder. Ladder is a disgustingly strong position if you can hold it. You are essentially cutting the 270 degrees, you're cutting that into 180 by holding it from inside ladder, as well as of course you're hearing everything that's happening there. And you're also, if they're not coming ladder but they're just T-con, you have a strong position. And so you want to have a big thing on train on CT side is making sure everything is being counted for, which is hard, which is why I talked about trying to create those problems on T side. And one thing that I like is you don't necessarily need to fight everything. Like let's say you have a guy who's like checking this, just making his role is to make sure they don't pop unannounced into old hell or sandwich. And they can also play Ivy at the start of the round. But just like you just have to know. You don't have to win the fight or take the fights immediately. And okay, I'm doing this. They're pushing. Oh, now they're pushing it. Ivy. Now I pick Ivy. Just like I'm spotting 2 spots, but really I'm only fighting for 1. And then let's say I have a guy on site, and I just call oh, they can be old hell, and now he's watching my old hell cross, right? Now he's playing from this angle, and I can, if they don't come Ivy, they can be old hell. We have like a crossfire-ish situation going on if I swing on his contact. Just like finding these little ways to play with your teammates by delaying and giving up areas elsewhere, and finding a way to do that safely. Maybe I've saved my, like, so what I do sometimes is I just molly this at the start of the round. Well, I don't know what's going on with my mollies today, but just like this. Now I know they can be Olaf, and now I can focus on Ivy for a bit to take care of the Ivy rush if that's coming. And then I go, after that molly fades, I'm playing from here. Now I'm watching this, but I'm still playing Ivy with my friend here, and just like making sure they don't sneak out. So I don't know. What I'm trying to say. I like creating these strong points where you can play together, even if they're not like this is not the best position to play. Like I'd much rather be playing from here, a surprising spot, or even like from here, because this is such a pain in the ass to clear out. Like from whatever. But if I'm here, I can play together with my friend. And same thing on, like you have your fast rotator in Z, right? And Z is kind of an overrated position in my opinion. Like apart from this very strong spot and like maybe with an op, but like what it does give you from the spot is maybe you have this guy playing, a guy on site playing again, making sure these guys can't come out here and flank that guy. But now you're also like, okay, they're pushing out ladder. Z guy's fucked. Maybe you smoke here. Just create your like your crossfire here, making sure that now you're playing together with this, even if it means that now this is given up. Now your Ivy guy is fucked, and this is what I mean by problems. You have solved one problem. Your Z guy is getting swarmed at this unfortunate angle. You solved it by helping him here, but you gave up this. And that's what the T's are basically like attempting to do. So this is where the communication comes in. Like, I'm not watching Sandwich anymore. And that's what I like don't hear, and that's what makes people so angry in train. Or on train in Goons. It's like, oh, I thought someone was watching, you know. So then if you call that, then these guys from can just back off together from either, or well, it depends what you want to do. Maybe they want to push forward and try to get to this position here, but like, let's say they now decide to give that up, and one guy stays here watching the Ivy angle, the other guy comes here and creates a 3-person like squad on site. And that's how you move around and create this and strengthen different spots, and you give up something to basically be able to play together. I don't know what else there is. That's like the basic, or at least like my basic understanding and philosophy of how to play nuke. There's a few different things I could show you, just fun stuff like this is always fun if you flash that and then pick this, which is like, sure. But what I don't see people do is after you pick it once, you you do this, and that's and you fight, and then this guy on that second flash, this guy swings out if there's a safe, if it's safe to do so. And the fact that this covers this whole hallway apart from the upper gives you a chance to do this now. What else? This boost is underutilized. You can also jump up there yourself. I don't know, that's pretty much it. I just like wish people played train more. For anti-rush nades on CT, you've got your basic that people like to throw this smoke ladder, which is fine. But then if you don't like what are you winning with these nades? Is time to get set up and find spots to play in. There are super weird spots people used to like to play and train, like as long as that's smoke you can, you know. If you just throw that shit and then you sit here, you sit on Z, just sit on green train, then it's like, okay, we wasted 3 smokes and 2 mollies and nothing came out of it because we didn't use them to push 2 spots that they perhaps didn't expect us to be. Like, let's say you have a molly there, smoke, flash, and then maybe you have a friend with you. Maybe you're playing now with this, you got your that smoked, and now you have a friend playing there, and you're up here. You're taking this, like, just peeking these headshot fights, and then this guy swings out with you And I just love like how much different stuff you can end up doing on train without it being like an actual start of round setup. Here's a fun little angle, I guess. This is super wall bangable. You can find a lineup that gets a Z, but I can't remember it. Then you can also jump to side train from here, but I am bad and I can't do it right now. And this is a very strong angle. Anyway, that's my love letter to pugging the train. Hope you won't get mad at playing the train at least once a night for the next 3 years.